Hello, everyone. I'm Phoenix Tremaine. Today, we're going to be talking about Pretty Little Liars: Original Sin, which you can see on HBO Max. I think if I go this way, you can see. Yeah, HBO Max. It's currently streaming. The first 5 episodes have come out. I've seen the first 3 episodes. When I end this recording, I'll probably go watch the two that came out today, and two more will come out tomorrow. And I'll probably do a second video on the next 4 episodes. That will have been released by tomorrow. And then next week should be the finale where they're going to release the last 3 episodes at the same time. And then I'll just do a whole overall show review. So this video will have spoilers. Really, there's only like one big spoiler I'm going to talk about. For the most part, I'm going to give you a synopsis of the show and the characters. And I'll try to avoid any major spoilers so that there are surprises for you in watching the show. But I'm just going to give you the basics. And, Pretty Little Liars, the original, is one of my favorite shows before they went off the rails and just clearly didn't even know who they wanted A to be at by the end. But I hung in there till the very last episode. I watched all of them. I even watched Pretty Little Liars spin off The Perfectionist, and the other one that didn't get off the ground, Raven something. And and so, which actually I was excited about because it was more supernatural. But so now we're here, HBO Max, Pretty Little Liars: Original Sin. And it starts off with the mother standing by while something happened to a girl who's begging them for help. And then, they just say, ignore her, they refuse her. So then she says, do you see me now? And then she jumps off of a ledge and ends herself. So that is the original sin. That's how the show starts. That's the original sin, that the mother's was a part of something 20 years prior, and it's all coming back to haunt them now. But the show focuses not on the mothers, it focuses on the daughters. So Bailee Madison as Imogen is pretty much the star of the show. She's the pregnant one, and her mother. Now this is another spoiler, but I'll just say something happens to her mother, and it really changes the trajectory of her storyline. Chandler Kinney as Tabby. She's an aspiring director and horror movie buff who has a boss that is really interested in her, if you know what I mean. Maya Grafico as Noah was in juvenile detention, and she catches the sheriff in a provocative moment, which becomes important later. Zaria as Farron is a ballet dancer, and Farron, ballet teacher, has a whole bunch of racial microaggressions. Malia Powles as Minnie, aka Mouse, spends most of her time online, and she's really, I'll talk about that later. Mallory Betchel as Karen / Kelly. Karen is the resident mean girl with her sister Kelly as her twin sister Kelly as a supporter. The father is the sheriff, and he targets the Pretty Little Liars when a murder happens. Well, he feels as a murder happened because it kind of looks like an accident, but he blames the Pretty Little Liars for what happened, and he's determined to get them. The show reminds me a lot of Scream, especially with a character like Tabby, who's quoting all these horror movie stuff and film knowledge and things like that. But the thing is, the original Pretty Little Liars reminded me a lot of I Know What You Did Last Summer. So it's really almost a sort of shift, because with I Know What You Did Last Summer, everyone involved pretty much was part of like this cover up, which is what happened with the mothers, and it happened with the original Liars. But these girls are good girls. They're not like the Pretty Little Liars of the past. They're all basically good girls, which changes everything about, what I think a fan of Pretty Little Liars are looking for. So let's get into it. So I'm about to go a little bit deeper, a little more spoilery territory, just a warning. but I'm not going to spoil it everything for you. Just a little bit, just a little bit. Um, Imogen is pregnant, but we don't know by who, and her mother accepts it and is helping her. And the only one really making fun of her pregnancy is Karen, the mean girl. Karen thinks she kissed because Karen thinks she kissed her boyfriend when they were best friends, and he actually kissed her. Karen gets really drunk, and Imogen even helps her from a bad situation. Tabby and her manager have these moments, but it's nothing like Arya and Ezra because clearly she's not that into him. She has moments where she feels uncomfortable and wants to get out the situation where he's clearly trying to romance her. Um, Farron is being harassed by her ballet teacher. And that's where it's just really weirdly written because on one hand, they talk about how great Farron is as a ballet dancer, and that's the reason why she got the star role, not Karen. Karen thinks that because she's black, she got the role. And the teacher who gave her the role has these racial microaggressions. So I'm like, why would someone that is clearly racist, why would she even give her the role? So that's what I mean by it's not like they're actually part of a ballet company and someone overhead, a producer, somebody said, okay, Farron's going to be in a role. And the ballet teacher or instructor at that point would be like just dealing with somebody they don't want to really deal with. But she made the choice to make her the star of the show. And then she wants to punish her for it. Whereas in real life, Karen would actually have kept the role and Farron would have had some minor roles. So that's my little issue with the writing is that the microaggression should have come with some from someone other than the actual instructor, you know. But anyway, um, Noah was locked up for drug possession, and once again, this is the spoiler. But I'm saying this because I have to explain when all the girls are technically good girls. She was arrested for drug possession, but it wasn't drug possession, but it wasn't her drugs. So she's covering from somebody. She's covered for somebody. She didn't do nothing, and now she's being punished for it. Mouse really doesn't do anything. She just loves being online, and like her friends are just online friends. And in the show, um, A basically does things that causes all of the girls get thrown into detention, which is how they eventually become friends because they bond because they think that Karen has done all of these things, which doesn't make sense because one of the things is done to Karen. So why would she do that to herself? Unless if she's not a psychopath, she wouldn't have done what happened to herself. So they believe Karen is the one that did everything to them. And so in the end, the last line of the first episode is Imogen saying they're gonna go kill Karen. But that is absolutely not true. What they decide to do is Karen is about to be like a homecoming type queen. And so Imogen is like, well, now I'm gonna be the queen. And socially, I guess technically it'd be like killing her or something. It was more metaphorical, not real, which was misleading to the audience. Um, my final thoughts on the show is well, one, I just got to mention Karen for a minute. It took me a while to figure out who was who, what their names were, and really getting their storylines together. Two of the girls look alike, and I kept thinking it was the same person because the show doesn't really separate them well. So when I say separate them well, like differentiate their storylines in a way that I'm like, other than Imogen, I'm like, okay, I get Imogen and Tabby are the ones that really stand out, and then Farron. But the other two, I kept mixing their storylines up of what was going on. And I was like, oh wait, they're two different people. I know people have seen the show like, Phoenix, how could you not know these are two of the same people? Because their storylines were so freaking bland that, I was like, I guess I started not really paying attention because the show wasn't holding my interest at a few points. But the one person you'll know their name no matter what is because everyone goes out of their way to say Karen. We get it. She's like a young social Karen. You know what I'm saying? So people are constantly saying Karen's name over and over again. Like, you get it? She's a Karen. She's a Karen. That's why they keep making sure you know her name. Okay, we get it. The mean girl is a Karen. But an Imogen name is so different that I really picked it up. Plus, I watched Good Witch. I was a fan of that show, so of course, I was a fan of hers from that show. But in the other four, I've never seen before. But my final thought is on these first three episodes is that the girls need more character development. They need to be more mischievous to live up to the originals, but they have to have, and they do have the potential. And by the end of episode three, I was invested in seeing what happens next. So the show overall did its job in keeping me interested for the first three episodes, which they released at one time. Now I'm gonna give this show 3 out of 5 because it's satisfactory. My rating may improve when I watch these next episodes coming out. The show has my attention. My only question is, can they keep it? So I didn't see the 2 episodes that dropped last week. So and tomorrow the next 2 episodes come out. So I'm gonna watch those 4 in a row, and I'll do another video. And then next week will be the finale when they release the last 3 episodes. And then I'll just do an overall series review. So let me know what you think about Pretty Little Liars. Does this sound like a show you want to watch? And I will see you in the next video.